Hey everyone, sometimes I just want to peek at a data set, but I get really frustrated when it has more than the 1,048,576 rows that Excel will show me. If I can only split this into pieces, it would be great. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you 4 approaches, and 2 of them don't even require any coding knowledge. So here we go. Okay, the first approach is pretty simple. We want to open a blank Excel file, and we're going to use Power Query, and I'll show you that. It's pretty easy. I want to go to Get Data here, from File, from text CSV, since our data set here is a CSV file. Here it is right here. Okay. And I want to go to transform data here. And that's where we get this Power Query thing. All right. So what I like to do is I like to click here on transform, and I just want to see how many rows that we have, and I like to split it in half. All right. So we can see that we have this number right here. We have 1.4 million. So I'm going to hit Control and C because I'm going to need that in a little bit. And I'm going to X out of this right here. Now we're back to here. Now here's what you can do. I want to go to keep rows, keep range of rows, and let's find like a halfway point. Let's go, well, first row will be 1, obviously, and then 700,000. That will be our cutoff point. Okay, let's hit OK. Now I want to go to close, load, and load to right here. Let's hit OK. And let's make sure that we have everything. Looks like we do. Great. Now we're just going to do the same thing right here for the rest of it. All right. So again, we want to go to Data, Get Data, from File, Text CSV, Dataset. Okay. Transform data. And this time we already know how many rows we have, so we're going to go to keep rows, range of rows. Okay, just one more than the end before, and you can copy and paste now, Control V, and then we got that 1.4 million right there, and so we got the other half. So I'll go to close load 2, right here, hit OK. And we have the rest of our data right there. Okay, so now you can go back and forth and you can look at this. This is probably the easiest way. There are way more complicated ways to do this in Power Query, but I just want to show the most simple method. Okay, the second approach is actually the easiest, but it takes the longest just because of loading time. So we want to go to New Data Source, from File, Text File, and let's find our data set here. Here it is again. Okay, we're going to import this. And since this is a comma delimited data set, we want to go on that. Go to next. First row contains the field names. We have this comma up here that separates them. Let's hit next. This is good. This is good. This is good. Okay, so we have everything right here. We can go all the way to the end. We can actually look at everything right here. But if you do want to split it, it's not that hard, and you can export it back to Excel format. So just going to make a query here. Add this ID. It's a row ID. Put this here. Put that there. Okay, we're going to say between 1 and 700,000. Okay, so that's query 1. If you want to just be quick, just copy this right here. Create query 2. Go in here, and then you can just go like this. So we'll just say greater than 700,000. That's the row ID again, so you can kind of see there, all the way to here. If you want to export these back to Excel, just highlight, export Excel, and you just save it wherever you want to do it. So you just do that for both of them. So it's pretty easy. Okay, the third approach uses PowerShell, and it comes with Windows, so you don't have to do anything special to use it. Just run it as administrator and hit yes if asked. And we want to count the rows of our CSV in case it's the only approach that we're using. Make sure you change this part to your directory. Okay, we can see that we have 1.4 million rows. Okay, one thing we want to do before we run our script is we want to temporarily allow scripts here, and that's what that is right there. So hit yes at the end here, run this again, and hit no. All right, let's move that for a second. Let's create a new text file here. We can change the name in a second. And I'm going to throw in this code here. And I have descriptors for each section, so I won't get into it too much, but the things you want to worry about are here. I want to change this to your source on your computer. And this is how much I'm going to split it by. So we're going to do it into thirds of 500,000. All right, so when you're ready, go ahead and hit File, Save As. Change this to all types. We can just call this split, and we want this to be a PS1 file. Hit Save. All right, let's move this out of here. And now let's go here, run with PowerShell, and let's watch what happens. There we go. We got our 3 files right there. Now I'm going to go back here for a second and just show you one more thing. So if you want to change that part, just right here, you can name it whatever you want. So if you want it to be like super CSV or something, you could just put that right there. You can change it to whatever you want just right there. All right, let's go ahead and do this the Python way. Go to File, New File. Let's save this in the same folder as our data set that we want to split. For me, that's that Excel one right there. Call this PySplit. Let's save it. Now, if you want to count the rows ahead of time, this is how you do that. Just make sure that you import pandas there with pip, and there's a link at the top to show you how to do that if you don't know how. Let's run. Make sure we get 1.4 million, and we do. Perfect. All right. Now, this is where the magic happens. All right. This is our chunk size right here. So every 500,000 out of our 1.4 million. So we should get 3 files here. All right, this is the name of our data set that we're importing. And this is part of the file name that it exports to. So if you want to change that, go ahead to whatever you want. Let's go ahead and run this and just see if it works. And I'm going to move this stuff out of the way so we can start seeing what's happening. Oh, there we go. Starting with 0, 1, and 2. That's what it should do. Let's see if it does. And there we go. We got our 3 data sets. Just to make sure I'm not lying, here we go. There we go. We have data. So there you have it, 4 different approaches for splitting a data set too big to open in Excel. Anyway, I hope you'd enjoy this video. Please look out for a new one next week, and take care, everyone.